Ladies and gentlemen, finally, the UFC is back, and we're excited here as fans of the sport. Last week they were back, but it was like more like I think it was a free card, Fox, whatever, or ESPN for free. But now we're finally getting back into pay-per-views, and it's headlined by Francis Ngannou and, of course, Gagne.
I told you Gon was going to be favorite.
It was French, so I put the "yeah" on it, like the little
the
thing, or whatever. But this is the crazy part: is that Ngannou is a underdog.
Yeah,
I mean, look, we've all seen his opponent do what he did. I did write down one thing that I'm very curious about. Not only obviously you got him at plus 125. I saw it on UFC.com today at plus 135. So Pick Bish will have her picks tomorrow. But the big thing is the average fight times. Ngannou's average fight time is only 5 minutes and 38 seconds. His opponent's is up in the 15-minute range. Is this going to be a cardio thing where if Ngannou gets past the first round and a half, he's going to get gassed out? This is a 5-round fight, Gooch. This is why I think maybe that's why he's the dog. I mean, he's a monster. Don't get me wrong.
To answer your question, yes, he will be gassed if this goes 25 minutes because both guys will probably be gassed. Ciryl Gane definitely has the bigger gas tank, but the great equalizer to that gas tank is Ngannou's power. You see what he's able to do. All he's got to do is touch you once, and it doesn't have to be perfectly clean, and he puts you out. When I look at the fight, these guys know each other well. They're former training partners. Ciryl Gane's current coach is the same coach that brought Francis Ngannou into the UFC, not into the UFC, but brought him along in his career. As you know, he left, I want to say Cameroon to Europe. Right?
Yeah,
and when he got to Europe, he moved to France. He was living on the streets, and it was the coach that kind of took him in and developed him into the fighter that he is. They had a falling out. These guys now don't like each other. I think a lot of it's, publicity. It's a publicity.
You have to sell the fight, yeah.
But at the end of the day, there really is bad blood. Now there's supposedly leaked footage of Ciryl Gane doing well against Ngannou in training, and Ngannou came out and said, well, I knocked him out in training. Are they going to release that one? And he's like, and it was bad.
You know what? That happens more. That happens more often than not. I mean, I'm not going to release names, but people know who I know. But like, there's been videos that are always out there that never see the light of day because of their training and their the security cameras.
Like an unwritten rule.
Are seeing bang, just knocked out.
You don't release training footage because everyone's gotten the worst of it in training. If you're out there sparring against good guys, you're going to get bested from time to time.
Right.
All right. But anyway, nobody really should be talking about what happens in the gym, I think. All that said, there's a 0% chance that I'm going to pass up on Ngannou at plus money.
Absolutely.
Because at any given point in the fight, he could end it. But he's an underdog for a reason because Ciryl Gane is the real deal. His footwork is insanely good for a guy of his size. I mean, he's only 15 pounds lighter. When we're talking about gigantic dudes like this, 15 pounds isn't the biggest difference in the world. Stipe has taken out Ngannou, and Stipe's probably walking around at like 235, 240.
Mm-hmm.
Ciryl Gane's a big guy. And like I said, his footwork, his boxing, it's second to none. It's just the power. We're going to be able to see if he's able to deal with that power. I don't think he's going to be able to.
Now catch people up because obviously there's plenty of viewers right now and maybe people listening at home and watching later. Explain to them and re-explain because it's been a little while. Why is Gane the interim champ? Why? And then Ngannou won the belt and then he didn't defend it. And then there's nothing more than I hate in both sports, both combat sports, boxing and MMA, in an interim champ. Well, I hate that shit.
In this particular case, I really couldn't find a good reason. I wish I had a real good reason other than the fact that I think that Dana White doesn't like Ngannou. He was supposed to defend his belt a little bit sooner, according to the UFC. Typically what they do with an interim title is if the guy is on the shelf for an injury,
correct,
or something like that. In this case, it wasn't that. It was just, it wasn't, the timing wasn't right. UFC champions typically take 6 months off in between fights. Right now is about the 6-month mark, I think, for Ngannou. So he's on par. There's no way that they should have had him fight for the title when they had Ciryl Gane fight Derek Lewis. That was the card that they wanted Ngannou to fight.
Balls is hot.
When he said no, they just made the interim belt. But either way, all that was doing was setting up the unification bout, which is essentially it's just another way for the UFC to sell things. Now they got champion versus champion. This is the 4th unification bout in UFC heavyweight history.
So then they have a history of heavyweight champions either A, getting hurt, B, that's
two of the other times. 2 times it was Brock Lesnar.
Well, he had diverticulitis
in unification bouts, and I think the other one was Randy Couture maybe, but I'm not sure. Either way, My heart is leaning towards Ngannou. My head's leaning towards Gane, but the money line is I'm going with Ngannou.
I'm all over Ngannou. Only for
plus
the
money.
Plus money. Yeah, I'm all over that because I just feel like if anybody has puncher's power to knock this kid out within a blink of an eye, it's Ngannou. The guy's a house. There's another fight that we want to definitely touch on, and that is obviously Brandon Moreno and Davison Figueroa. Now, I don't know. Again, this is another title fight with the underdog not being that heavy of an underdog. I think plus 145 isn't that heavy of an underdog to go into a title fight. Right?
It's not. I mean, he's not that big of an underdog. These two guys have fought twice, both great fights. With Moreno, he's the kid that nobody gave a chance, and now he's the heavy favorite. I think he's a heavy favorite. I mean, minus 175.
That's heavy.
Yeah, that's a pretty heavy favorite when you got two guys that are as evenly matched as them. I just think that he turned the corner. He came into the UFC on The Ultimate Fighter. He was the 16th ranked seed on that show. He ended up, I think, taking second.
Is the Funko Pop guy?
This is the guy that he just needs more room for his Legos and his Funko Pops. That's the funniest interview you will ever see by a UFC fighter. And honestly, it's impossible to hate this kid. He's thanking Davison Figueroa for his house and all these things. Like, nobody thinks that this fight should be going down with how convincing the last one was, even though it was a great fight. But he's basically saying, look, Davison Figueroa gave me a second chance when he beat me, so I'm going to give it back to him. Gotta love this division. A lot of action, but I'm going to go with Moreno in this one. I'm going to lay the 175.
It's going to be interesting with this UFC card. I know Greg Hardy was supposed to fight on this card. He got moved to the Colby card, I believe, in March.
Yeah, 272.
So that'll be exciting. But yeah, so if you want to place your bets, go do that. Gooch knows his shit. So does the pick bitch. She'll be dropping her graphic and her picks, I guess, tomorrow or
Moreno
Saturday
losing.
morning, yeah.
I don't
tomorrow
think
morning. So